Hello, my friends. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Lauren with LA Florals, where I hand draw my own sticker sheets and that kind of thing. So today I thought I would take you through June in my Wonderland222. This is my very first completed month ever in this Wonderland222 system. Any planner from them, any book from them, or anything. This cute little bear is definitely supposed to be down here to hide the 2024, but it's okay. This is an obviously out of date planner that I am redating for 2025 and into 2026. So essentially, I'm making this my own academic planner. This is the B6 Stacked Weekends All in One. I think I got that right. I'm very new to their whole world and everything. Don't mind my trusty DS. This just helps me to balance out the book. It's literally like the perfect height. Anyway, let's get started. So this is the purpley wine plum color. Don't quote me on the color name. I know that's not right. But I do have the clear cover on there, and here's how I'm using it so far. This is my tracker. So I just covered up the out of date over here, and then the boxes were slightly like one day too long, so I just blacked that out. And then yeah, here's all my habits. Some of them I did really good at, some of them I really sucked at. That is okay. I also made some notes down here about like things that I want to add to my tracker. For example, daily doodle. For starting July 1st, I am doing a daily doodle in my Stalogy. There's a little sneaky peeky. But I want to make sure that that is a habit that I can build. So I want to add that to my tracker for July, which I did, as you can tell by the shadowing. I want to add reading, hobbies, and skincare. So this actually worked out really, really well for me. This is probably the first time in a really long time that I've actually been able to keep up with a tracker. Normally, this is not something that I can even keep up with. So I'm very proud of myself about that. And then over here, I just have the Wonderland 222 brand of tabs. That is what they are called. So here's the rest. Yeah, I'm filming this a little late. Sorry. We have the rest of our monthly trackers, and I just jumped right in and I started this in June of 2025. So let's talk about what worked and what didn't work. First of all, the lovely washy texture stickers, like the numbers, and then I have these blue strip of floral down here, and then over here on the sides. That is from my dear friend Lisa with Hobbs Sticker Co. And I will try to remember to link her shop down below. She's just the sweetest person ever. I love her. But going into this, I will say part of the reason it looks so chaotic is because in June, I was trying to do a YouTube challenge for myself because I was wanting to just like, I don't know, kind of shock myself, I guess, into doing YouTube like consistently. Like, if I could get over that initial fear of posting, then maybe that would help me to suck it up and be better in the future. That, like, at 2 videos a week or 3 videos a week. Because, like, good grief, if I can do 7 videos a week, 2 is nothing. I don't know. Maybe that rationale doesn't make sense to anybody else. But anyway, I was basically just wanting to, like, shock myself into it. But I did not take into account personal life things. We had 2 vet appointments for my dog, Agnes. She had super duper bad ear infections. And it was just one of those things that it was just really bad. The vet said it was literally one of the worst ear infections she's ever seen. So we had that. We had, let's see, sales tax, but I mean, that's every month that I have to pay that, unfortunately. We also had the carnival for my nephew. He turned 9, so we met them at the carnival and had like a little birthday party with him there. And then I started cleaning out the hoarded out shed that's on our property, and that was a long process. And then for these first 2 weeks, we were having super duper bad car problems. Like, I am talking so bad. Like, my husband's work car It's a 2015 Subaru Forester, which is literally the exact same make and model as my car. It just started making all these crazy sounds, and we were in and out of the shops, and then they were like, oh, here's some new tires that you need for it. So we fork out, the $700 for new tires, and then they're like, the rumbling sound was still there. So we go back and we're like, hey, the car is still screwed up, like, can you, please help us, like that did not fix it. And they said, oh, sorry, and then just like walked away. So then we had to go to a different car shop. Like, oh my goodness, it was a disaster and a half. Anyway, that took up a lot of time the first 2 weeks. And like, long story short, my YouTube goal and idea that I wanted for myself, as you can tell by all the X's, just like didn't happen. And I also had a really big collection launch this month in June. And I don't know, I had such high expectations. And I'm not going to lie, it made me really sad that it just didn't pan out the way that I wanted it to. But I guess that's just life. Anyway, we can move on. So here is this. So I was playing around with using this as more of like a memory keeper style of book at first. It wasn't until I want to say like the fourth or the fifth that I decided to quite literally throw my Hobonichi like in a far corner of my house and forget it existed. I have a cousin with disgustingly bad paper, and I've been trying quite literally up until like this point to try to make it work. And so at the time when I set this up, I was like, oh, great. This can be my business book, or like in the notes, because you have all of your daily pages in the back. I was like, I can do my business in the back and I can do memory keeping up front. Well, once I decided, like, I saw how great this book was, I just I'm done with my Hobonichi. Like, I was done with it. So this was my only week using it as an actual like memory keeper. So, I'm talking about my books that I read, a little bit of my work stuff, got a big delivery. I had a meeting that unfortunately, like, that just didn't pan out. We had tornado weather that weekend. So anyway, this was my only time using it as a memory keeper, which I did really enjoy. For the markers, I used my Shuttle Art acrylic markers, which is why, if you can kind of see up top, so Wonderland222, if you're new to the system, has really, really bold writing in the corners. And I just used my acrylic markers to cover over the top. Sorry if you can hear my AC. Oh. Should I go turn that off? I'm going to go turn that off. 1 second. I will sweat for you guys. You're welcome. Anything for the sake of the video. It might take just a second, but it will turn off. Oh, I about tripped and fell. Anyway. Okay, so yeah, this was my only time using this as a memory keeper. My Shuttle Art markers, acrylic, so they actually have coverage rather than just like sitting on top like a normal like brush pen marker would do. I will link my affiliate link down below if you're interested. Moving on. So this was purely a get things done kind of week. I needed tons of room for writing out my to-do lists. And then here's where I would mark up where like my YouTube videos were. I put those in blue. I put that week's reel series in green, and then my day off, that kind of thing. And then I used this up here as like my 3 focus tasks, which I will say worked really well. And then this week, so I used this box down here for like a bulk to-do list, and I did really like that. But I will say this is a little bit overwhelming for me. There's a lot of stuff going on here. And then just some notes about what I wanted to do that day for my mom's content. And then I did next week notes, and then the week after that notes. So I like this spread because it was also like, it was just super duper functional and it is what I needed. But at the same time, like, looking at it was very overwhelming. And I don't know, like, it was just hard for me to be like, okay, I have all of this I need to do. And it was so cramped. I couldn't write notes about the things that I did have due and the things I did not have due. Like, for example, when I say pack all orders, sometimes that has like 6 or 7 steps involved. You know what I mean? And like it's almost more like a project than it is just a task. And I can't add all of those little micro tasks here. That would be way too chaotic, which leads me into this monstrosity. Okay, please bear with me. Please don't click off the video. Let me explain. Um, so basically, I was trying out a super rigid block schedule. And at the time that I'm uploading this, I think it's like a video or two back, but I talked about like why I wanted to do a block schedule, why I think that would be a great idea, blah, blah, blah. Well, the problem with that is exactly like what I found here. So I have, a bigger project that maybe has anywhere from like 5 to 6 tasks before I can actually get to that. So that's what I was running into here. So I used my 4Candies multicolor gel pens. I used these to kind of block out my block schedule. And I will say, I do enjoy that. But again, it's too chaotic. Like, it was just too much. I was trying to micromanage my block schedule. I was trying to maintain my focus, my few focus tasks from the week before. I was marking down my content that I needed to post. I was doing a daily reflection, which quite literally did not last but 3 days. And then I was still trying to maintain my this week tasks that needed to get like distributed. And then this is like an overall reflection. This is too busy and it freaks me out with instant overwhelm. So I like the premise of this, and I think that there would be a way to do this, but I need a bigger spot to do it in. With this being a B6, this is just too much, too much. So I think what I needed to do was add something to my system to be the uber functional, down to business, for my eyes only, and that is my day designer. Very quickly, I want this video to just be about my first month in the Wonderland222, but I can't really do that if I'm not sharing this with you, because to me, I have now found what works for me. So I'm just going to cover up some things, I think, like maybe that will make me feel a little bit better. But basically, so this is my day designer. It is nearly an 8.5 by 11 size piece of paper. So it is absolutely massive. Like my B6 is literally like not like a little over half the size. It's just massive. So what's happening in this is that I have a massive timetable on this side, then you have your to-do list, and then notes and that kind of thing on this side. So what's happening is that I will mark down my personal time, my gym time, but then I have tasks all the way down this massive to-do list. This leaves me enough room to do those micromanaging tasks of, packing orders isn't just packing orders. It's also prepping the freebies. It's, making sure the inserts are together and all together and blah, blah, blah. Making sure I have the product for it. So what I have started doing is a very simple, because again, this is my eyes only. I'm literally using 3 random highlighters from my college days, and I am still maintaining that block schedule for my Wonderland222, but I highlight a chunk of time, and then I assign that chunk of time with a coordinating color on the to-do list. So for example, on my green block of time, I did a block from 3 o'clock to 5 o'clock. And in that block of time, I went down and I marked off what tasks I wanted to get done in that block. And then when they're done, I completely mark them out. As you can tell, there's some that, didn't get touched at all because I was having cricket problems for quite literally half of my workday. But again, I highlighted a chunk of time in pink, and then I assigned that tasks and that kind of thing. Let me flip over to the next day because I think I had a little bit more success with this. So here is another example of how I use this. So I have a chunk of time here where I worked from about 10:30 to noon, and I assigned that 1, 2, 3, 4 tasks, which I actually did get done. I took a lunch break, I took my dogs outside, and I got back to work. And from 1 to 2:30, I assigned another 4 tasks to it, and I got that done. And then I don't really remember what happened from 3 to 5 p.m. I think I was just cutting sticker sheets. So, like, that didn't really matter. Like, I don't need a timetable for that because literally manning my machines takes all my brain power. So, anyway, this book, long story short, is quite literally just for me, but it gives me that place. Oops. It gives me that place to be in depth without completely overwhelming myself in such a small book. Like, I don't want to hate this book. I don't want to pick this book up and dread it. I don't really care if I dread my day designer, if that makes sense. So, with that shift in mind, I knew that I was going to start that. So, by Thursday, I knew that this was too much. It was not going to work for me. This is instant overwhelm and I hate it. So I tried to shift to, maybe some highlights that I got done. I shifted to, adding a little bit of stickers in to talk about how we did the carnival for my nephew's birthday, that kind of thing. And then I find what works for me. And this is 3 weeks in, and I love this so much. Literally, I'm obsessed. So, how I use this, I'm still doing my focus of the day. I'm still doing my three main focuses of the day. I was feeling super anxious this week because I was having my collection launch the 28th and the 29th. Is that right? Yes. Collection launch the 28th and the 29th. So I was feeling super anxious, feeling overwhelmed. So I was sharing a little bit about, where I was at mentally. I used my 4Candies highlighter to show when I started work for the day. And then I just did a very, very simple and even wobbly line until I was done. My dinner, I just did a cute little check mark with a circle to see if I ate healthy or not. So I would mark that off if I did, super easy. If I went back to work after dinner, then I would mark that. And then down here, in my free time, I was staying up way too late reading every single night. And so I just had a cute little books of the week moment down here. And then I did a little weekly reflection. As you can tell, I did nearly a doodle every single day. This one, I got in a gifted 4Candies bundle. I got colored pencils from them and a mechanical pencil set. I do have the pencil somewhere. I don't know. I need to make a whole video about it because it's literally amazing. Anyway, my next one was that I ordered a pocket Nolte, and that's my little credit card with money flying away. And I said, treat yourself from Parks and Rec. This was the day that I completely had figured out the key to printing clear sticker sheets. So I just made a note of the cut settings that I'm using and I doodled my Cricut. I didn't do a doodle on Thursday, but then on Friday, I was very, very proud of myself because I illustrated literally, I think, 7 sticker sheets on that day. And I gave myself a little winning ribbon. And then Saturday after the launch, I doodled a little broom because I was cleaning the house. And then on Sunday, I was a much needed couch potato to rest and binge below deck. So this is how I want to use this. It's still functional for, the purposes of work and whatever. I'm talking about the things I did at work, but I'm not having to go to such in-depth links that I am literally giving myself a panic attack looking at this thing. So this to me is the perfect blend of just using this book. This feels perfect to me. And this is also very, very similar to how I would use my Hobonichi cousin in 2024. So 10 out of 10, no notes. And then this, if you'll have seen my video I just posted, this I actually had to backfill, but I was still maintaining this aesthetic of spread. I'm showing when I worked. I maybe did a few highlights about my day. I'm talking about books, talking about dinner. I need to go in and add my steps here. I did some really fun deco, and then because I was not using this in the moment, I decided to use this top focus section as like what I did for body movement. And yeah, I mean, overall, I had a lot of fun, and I got back to doodling again. I did this little flower, I did the little dots everywhere, I did the border, the stars, some headers. Overall, this feels like how I want to use this. I want to use this to more so script my day rather than really, really intense planning like what's happening in this one. This just feels, dare I say, like planner piece for me. I love it. And then the only obviously thing is that because this planner is a 2024, I am having to go in and redate, and I have to fix some things, which that's totally fine. It's not a big deal. I'm just going to go do it a month at a time. I'm not going to make it this big, overwhelming task or anything. And then in the back, I am using the daily pages as business notes, YouTube ideas, a planner flow. I am talking about my fountain pen collab with Narwhal, my sticker sheet ideas, watercolor doodle ideas, doodle ebook ideas, studio projects. Like, overall, this is just a book that I want to take with me into 2026, which is another reason why I'm so glad it is acting as technically like an academic year. I cannot wait to keep using this. I feel planner piece quite literally in how I have decided to use this moving forward. This just feels perfect to me. I'm scripting my day, but I'm still being creative and it's still being functional. I literally could not ask for anything more, and I really do love this book. The paper is great. I I will definitely be ordering a 2026 Wonderland 222. I'm probably going to go up to the A5 because the more room the better for me. So I'll be getting the A5 all-in-one stacked weekends. This is what you can expect to see in the future. And yeah, I really hope this video helped you if are on the fence about a Wonderland 222 from a Hobonichi girly. Like, let me just, for context, in case you haven't seen any of my other videos, I could make an entire video about this, but I am quite literally a Hobonichi girly. This was my 2024 Hobonichi cousin, and I loved this thing. It literally saved my dog's life, and I'm not even being dramatic. Like, I did everything in this book. Like, it was my companion. And it's just one of those things that, with the paper, I was not able to have that freedom. I couldn't do the things that I could do in it this year, and that really sucks. But at the end of the day, like, this book to me has the potential to replace Hobonichi for me. And that is so, so big and important to me and my brain and the way my brain functions. So yeah, if you need the stamp of approval from a Hobonichi, person, the Wonderland 222 is amazing. So yeah, I am super duper excited, and I hope you really liked this video. I hope it helped you if you're on the fence about trying out these planners, and I will see you in the next one. Bye, friends.